This is your host, Mira, and you are tuned in to Look in the Mirror podcast, where we keep it all the way real, no play, period. Today's episode is very different. Usually I pick a topic and bring on several guests to discuss different perspectives on a particular subject that I hand pick. But today we have Miss Rolesta Brooks, in which she will be here to discuss her latest released book, The Heaven and Hell of Friendship. Let me tell you, if you haven't already, please check it out. I was reading this book, y'all, like, how this girl know my life. Like, it's that good. But it definitely not only allows you to see how a person done you, but also kind of open your eyes to, you know, a couple of toxic traits that you may have. But let me go ahead. I don't want to say too much in the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and allow her to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I am Rolesta Brooks, the author of Heaven and Hell of Friendship. You can follow me on Facebook at Rolesta Brooks and on IG, sincerely _ row. You can purchase my book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu.com, or go on my website, www.brooksbookproduction.com, and purchase that way.
All right. Y'all heard it from her yourself. Y'all go ahead and, if you haven't gotten already, go ahead and get those books. You will not regret it. All right, Rolesta. So let's just jump right into it. Girl, this book.
Yes.
This book. Listen, this book, I read the book in one day. It took me 2 hours.
Okay.
Girl, I was reading it and I was just like, okay, she know my life.
You felt it, didn't you? You felt it.
She know my life. Like, this is crazy that, you know, people experience the same things. And it may not be exactly the same, but, you know, kind of similar experiences with different people. And, you know, people don't like to talk about it, but friendships is you know, it's a heartbreak also.
Definitely.
And, you know, just like relationships, it does, you know, it takes
it's a relationship of its own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I like how you kind of started off the book with the disclaimer. Can you share with everybody the disclaimer of the book before we jump into it?
Of course. My disclaimer was, I am not perfect. God is still working on me. In this memoir, I wanted to be as transparent as possible, and for you to see me for me, to feel the words on the page, and for my experiences to be honest and relatable. I wrote situations that I have encountered with the raw, unedited thoughts that pass through my mind. Am I a believer? Yes, but also a constant work in progress. Do I cuss a little? Yes. Am I going to hide that part of me? No. I pray you can see that if I partially introduced my pain, I would be presenting only half the story. I needed to display me in my entirety, the good, bad, and ugly. You get to grasp who I was, who I am, and who God is molding and shaping me to be. Thank you for diving into my thoughts. Hopefully, you can respect authenticity. I know I have readers of all backgrounds and religious preferences. Well, this is all of me, unapologetically. If God loves me for me and permitted me to release the following content, then I am not bound by anyone else's opinions of my candidness. I am so thankful for your support.
All right, girl. All right, so I just really want to jump into it.
Okay.
So we don't want to tell the book because, of course, we want you guys to go out and get the book and read the book for yourself. So we don't want to tell everything in the book, but I do feel like we do need to kind of touch on these lessons. How did you come up with these lessons? Like, it's like they're perfect.
When I tell you, I mean, of course, life experiences. But before I even wrote this book, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I had to pray about it. because I didn't want anyone thinking I was trying to be like them, or, I wanted to create a lane for myself. I said, Lord, you laid it on my heart to write out the things that's happened to me. You laid it on my heart to release it. Is this something you truly want me to do? And so this was very, very thought out. So I really just let him use me. I let him put on my heart what to write down on paper, what to release. And when I say the words just flowed on how I felt, the things that happened to me, they just came out. I just wrote what I felt and edited it from there. So,
girl, it's so good. So let's start with the first lesson, which I feel like is very, very important. Protect your peace. In your book, you did mention that one of the things that you realized about yourself is that you were a studier. Mm-hmm. So you kind of study people before, I guess, having like relationships and,
I think everybody naturally has a wall up before they meet someone. And it's like, okay, do I let them see all of me? Do I present certain parts of me? And I don't think that's being fake. I think it's just discerning who to allow into your space. And I had realized that about me. I don't just give people everything. I realize, are they worth it? Mm-hmm. Are they worth my time? Are they worth knowing all of me? So that's what I meant by protecting my peace and learning to know who to let all the way in.
Right.
And that took time.
Yeah. And I guess with me, I still have, I have friends who I don't necessarily let all the way in. And I think it may be for not necessarily that I don't trust them, but more so of
probably pain that happened prior to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I used to be the person that let everybody all the way in. And that's why I'm so protective of my peace now. Yeah. Because before, anybody could get access to me. Like, oh, you seem nice. Let me make you my friend. Then I realized everybody doesn't deserve that.
They don't.
So that is what showed me I need to block off that from some people. Not allow everybody access to me. Because some people that got access abused it. So, girl, now I'm protective.
Listen. And we also have to start paying attention to the red flags.
Very much so. That's in the book too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have to pay attention to the red flags because sometimes
I think it's so easy to bypass that.
It is. And let me tell you why I feel like that. Because we shouldn't, but we kind of stereotype people to a certain extent. So like we may meet somebody and we say, oh, this person seems so super sweet. This person seems this, like when I see this person here, there, whatever, they just seem so genuine, so sweet, so this, so that. So if somebody do come to us and it's something that's, kind of like, that you side eye on, you really kind of like overlook it because you're like, no, they're not them. Mm-hmm. Not them. Mm-hmm. No, they're sweet. Mm-hmm. Because you have painted this picture in your head, like
of who you wanted them to
who
be.
You want them to be. Mm-hmm. And,
or who they're making you believe they are.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. I do believe that some people come in your life just to create chaos. Mm-hmm. They come in just to see like,
what can I mess up in their life?
Yeah, this person seems to have a lot of people that like them. Let me come in and see what's the hype about and, create some mess and then I'm out.
Right.
You got people like that.
It's sad to say. And
when you go back and you think about it, you're like, okay, when I first met this person, this happened, this and this, this and that. And those were all the red flags that I should have known that I shouldn't even carried it out this far.
Hindsight is 20/20. And that's just so crazy that you got to look back on it. And you couldn't have picked it up when it was happening initially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's crazy, though. It's so crazy because it's kind of like, how did I miss that?
You looked over it because you didn't want to see it. You saw it, but you didn't see it.
But it's like, I don't know. I guess everything always comes, to light when
but it's just
something
like
big happens.
It's like a relationship.
Yeah.
Some people get into it with men and they don't want to see that because of what they initially presented themselves to be. And it's like, I love this person now. They can't be this. So
Yeah.
you create in your mind, or you look past it and you're like, nope, they aren't this person. They're going to be who I want them to be.
Right. And it even gets to the point where you start defending this person.
Mm-hmm.
Even when somebody else tries to say something and you're like, no, that's not who they are. This person is sweet. This person is this person is that. All along, they had you fooled because of who they portrayed to be.
Right.
So for me, as far as like keeping the peace, for me, I just say that if someone walks in your life and you see red flags in the beginning, pay attention and just let it be what it is. Don't try to force something. Don't try to say, oh, well, I know they came at me like this, but I also know that they're a good person. So I'm just going to ignore how they came at me or what they came to me saying, or, whatever the case may be, because they are a good person. I know they're a good person. So you kind of like try to make excuses for them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And address it. Address it before it becomes a repetitive thing.
Yeah.
That you're bypassing and they're getting over on you.
Yeah.
Address it. And if it doesn't change, then move on. Don't let those red flags keep coming and you ignore them.
Yeah. And so yeah, but at the end of the day, I do feel like everybody, I don't care who you are, I don't care who it is that's disturbing your peace, everyone should protect their peace at all costs. No friend, no lover, no nothing is worth your peace.
Exactly. Because
at the end of the day, if you don't have peace, you can't even be the best you that you can be.
Right.
Everything is disturbed. All right. So vibes don't lie. Now this one right here.
One of my favorite chapters.
This one right here. Vibes don't lie. So I know everybody probably have experience where, where you're, whether it's involved in a relationship or a friendship where, it's kind of like you got to kind of check in with that person to see where they are today.
What did I say, Rakira? I said playing the guessing game in a friendship.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like if you got to guess who somebody is today, like something is up, and you ain't feeling this way for no reason. Vibes do not lie. When you feel like somebody acting funny, or you 9 times out of 10 they probably are. Mm-hmm. But when you address it to them, they are going to make it seem like you're tripping, like you're crazy. You're crazy. Like, no, why would I act funny with you? But they know they're acting funny, you know?
They is.
Yeah. So, as far as, nobody wants to play the guessing game in a friendship all the time. People can feel when something is off. And don't let anyone make you feel like, you're crazy or you're creating these things in your head. They don't know where it's coming from. People know their friends.
Different when other people come around.
Oh,
uh-oh.
Girl, don't even talk about that one.
Uh-oh.
But I believe when people start acting different when other people are coming around, I feel like they're doing that because they have to pretty much
save face,
and they have to follow up on
how they've been talking about
you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
that's what I meant when I said vibes don't lie.
Yeah.
Listen to those vibes. They're trying to tell you something.
Definitely.
So I got a couple questions for you, Rakira.
Okay.
So at the end of each of my lessons, I put kind of a reflections, kind of to give an evaluation of self. Evaluate yourself to let you know, okay, you can look at other people, but how did I react in this situation? Or how can I benefit out of this situation? How can I become better from this? Mm-hmm. So I asked questions and I called them reflections. So I want to ask you one of the questions from, I think, lesson 3.
Less than 3. Okay.
Do you tolerate friendships where your energy is unmatched? And are you repetitively overexerting yourself?
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I would say I did, but not anymore. I feel like there are several friendships where I felt like my energy wasn't matched. I felt like, I was pouring more into friendships than people were pouring back into me. And I kind of don't know if that could be, I think that pretty much kind of stemmed from, my childhood, maybe the kind of childhood that I had. So you don't know, but like I wasn't raised by my mom or my dad. So growing up, I always kind of felt like I had to prove that I was good enough for someone to love me. So, I kind of got okay with being the person that, did more or poured more, or, I was just, in my eyes, I was kind of like, this is what it takes, or, they love me. And in order for this person to love me, I got to do this or do that. And it wasn't, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't until recently where I realized that, no.
I'm worth more.
No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Because at the end of the day, you're exerting all of this energy and you ain't hurting nobody but yourself. So if you can't just be a friend, just normal stuff, and people don't love you, don't overdo it. Right. You don't have to try to, go over and above to try to make somebody love you more. Mm-hmm. You're genuine. You're loyal. Mm-hmm. You're there when it matters. You're there when it don't matter. There's been times when I've been all somebody had. And, for me, if things like that don't make you kind of like, treasure my friendship a little different, or, just anything of that sort, for me, I kind of feel like I don't need you in my life. Exactly. That's where I'm at with that. This year has been a very trying year. I ain't even going to say the whole year. I'm going to say within the last couple months. I've just realized a lot as a person. I held on to things because of time. I've held on to things because, bonds, or, because it was what was comfortable for me. Mm-hmm. But it took for me to feel betrayed, or to feel, empty, or like a person wasn't there for me with the smallest thing, knowing that I've been there with them through the biggest thing, everything. So it was something so small that would make you kind of like, fold on me, or, whatever the case may be. So after that, I kind of like just changed my outlook. Like I'm
overexerting myself.
No.
If I don't get the reciprocation.
I'm not doing it. I'm not loving nobody more than they love me. I'm not trying to, make everything easier for you when you don't reciprocate it. And again, I'm not a person that kind of feel like, okay, well, if I do this, you need to do this. I understand that everybody is different. I'm a natural giver. So I can understand where, I may do blah, 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 but then you do blah, blah, blah. It's not always going to be equal. And I don't expect for it to be equal because, again, I am a giver. A lot of people are not.
They're not naturally.
Yeah, they're not naturally givers. For me, I've always been a natural giver. So it's nothing for me to just, whatever. So I had to, just kind of like reevaluate me, and come to the conclusion that, okay, Kira, you are partially the blame. You're the blame.
Because you allowed it.
You allowed it. you are the enabler.
So it kind of leads me to the next one, but you somewhat answered it already, but I kind of want you to go more into it. Do you feel it's appropriate to sever ties or withdraw from some friendships based on lack of reciprocation? Can you think of any friends, without name dropping, that you may be mistreating this way? Putting it back on you. Do you think that you've done this in some form or fashion? Not reciprocated what was being given to you?
Mm-mm. For me, if you're my friend, you're my friend.
Right.
I am always there for people who I consider my friend. I don't have to tell the stories of how I was there. My friends know. And when I say I was there, I'm not just saying, oh, you have an event, I'm showing up to your event. I'm saying behind the scenes, I'm helping you do this. I'm helping you do that. A lot of times, I really don't like to talk about it because a lot of times when you say, well, you know, I was there for you, da 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 da, people would say, well, you didn't have to be there for me. Or, okay, well, why you say this? Or, you know, and people make it like it's cool when you're being there for them, but when y'all are talking about it and you say, you know, I can't believe you did this to me because I was there for you. You know, they look at it like, oh, well, why you got to say you was there for me? Big. What do you mean? What you mean? Like, people would, like, to me, like, it's so crazy because it'll be like, it's like,
what's your definition of a friend? Because do we have the same definition?
Right. And it's just like, I'm trying to answer your question without saying too much, honestly. I'm really trying to answer your question without saying too much.
I get it.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of like, you know, okay, let's move on.
Okay,
girl,
let's move on. Let's move on. I understand.
But let me. I did underline one part of your book that I did want to shed light on. When you said it wasn't until God began snatching people away from me for minute things that I became confident in who I was and not so reliant on another being for a sense of security and solidifying me as a good person. And that's kind of like what I talked about the first time. I had to underline that. Like, I feel like you have to know who you are.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody else tell you who you are. You know who you are. Hell, they know who you are. They can talk, they smack or whatever they want to say now that, you know, you and that person aren't on good terms or whatever the case may be. But people know who you are.
They knew I was solid.
People know. So it's kind of like at the end of the day, it's really nothing to explain, nothing to be said, nothing to, you know, you don't have to try to prove who you are to people. People know. And they will feel your absence.
Yeah. They
will feel your absence.
For the longest, I feel like I was like you. I had to prove myself. I had to prove I'm the greatest friend. I'm the best. I'm going to be great to you. I got to do this. I got to do that. Beyond them reciprocating that, I'm going to be who I need to be for you. So you can always say I'm a solid friend, but you can be that for a person and they still not be solid for you. They still not turn around and acknowledge how great of a friend you were. So you can't define who you are or the friend that you are based upon someone else. You just got to know in yourself, I'm a good person. I'm a solid friend. And that's that. Yeah.
But, you know, we say this, but it kind of like betrayal hit different when you know.
It still hurts.
It hits different when you know, how solid and, you know, how down you were for a person. It hits different. Like, it's so many things that I know that I'll take to the grave.
But just to know that person won't do the same for you. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. They out here dogging you behind your back and you up there upholding them like they on a pedestal.
People asking you what happened, whatever, and you're more so
speak on
like,
it.
no comment. Like, I'm not going to speak on it because I'm big on not, not exposing for one, and not ruining someone else's
image.
Yes, someone else's image and someone else's opinion of you.
Oh, got it.
So, like I
let
can
them
say,
form their own.
Yeah, let
opinion.
them form their own opinion. I'm big on that. So, like, I could say I've been friends with this person for blah 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 blah, and this is what I experienced with them. Da 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 da.
But you might not have that same experience.
You may not have that same experience as me. I don't want to ruin your chance to, because you may meet this person and it may be totally something different.
That's big, because so many people walk around wanting to help you form an opinion on someone else before you've even met them. I don't need your help. I can meet that person. I'm a big girl. I can meet them on my own. I can form my own opinion, and I don't need you telling me blah 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 about them in order for me to make my decision on if I'm gonna be friends with them or not.
But they need help not liking somebody.
Oh yeah, they need a whole army.
It's like they recruit a team. Yeah, they recruit a team to help not like somebody, which that's mad weird. And again, like I know it's people that speak ill of me and all those things like that, but I just I just rather I just be the bigger person and not say nothing, because when I start telling my story, you're gonna be mad.
Your feelings gonna be real hurt.
Because when I tell my story, I'm gonna tell the whole story.
And not just one side.
Not just one side. And then you're going to be mad. So, like I said, I save a lot of face.
I told my story.
Yeah, I save a lot of face by not telling my side.
Drop.
You name drop.
But I told my story.
Which is good. That's good. That's good you didn't name drop, because this book is really juicy. So, kind of tell us about like the little seasonal friends things. Like, I see where you said you got leaf people, branch people, and root people. So you believe that some people are placed in your life just to, maybe get you to the next level, or they may be placed in your life for you to help them get to the next level, and that's it.
Right. I believe everybody serves a purpose. And what I had to realize is even the people that hurt me, even the people that really tore me down, and betrayed me, they even played a role. Like, cause it didn't do nothing but make me a better person and make me want to be a better friend for the people that came there after them. I'm like, okay, all right, Lord, they served their purpose, but what did I learn from it? And that's that's my whole message through this entire book. What did I learn from it? How is it making me better? Because I'd be damned if anything happened to me that I'm not going to grow from. And so that's what I mean by root, branches, and leaves. But I learned, that was an analogy I got from Tyler Perry. And I really loved his message about the people that are going to be there no matter what. Those are your roots. They're grounded. They don't have to be in the forefront. Like you said, you're doing things behind the scenes to help propel your friends. You ain't got to be all in the forefront to know that I helped them. I don't need no gain from it or nothing. Just to know that I was there for my friends. That's enough. Then you got branches, the people they're there. They hold up the leaves, the people that fall away really easily. They're there for maybe a moment. They're there for the clout, but they're going to fall eventually because they're not solid. They're not grounded. They're not rooted. But then I added my own spin to his analogy, and I just spoke on a trunk. And a person that rarely gets acknowledged, but they're there. Without them, the tree can't stand. The tree is not even a thing without your trunk. And I just realized that you have people there that they're going to hold you down, and they're very real. They make up your friendship group, and they're solid. And yeah, that was my trunk. I said, in the book, they're essential for the tree for growth. It supports the tree. It holds it up. And that's the friend that's going to hold it down no matter what.
So I I have a personal, I ain't gonna say story, but I just want to just kind of touch on like the leaf people. Because I just went through a recent experience of leaf people.
Okay.
In your book, you said some people come into your life and they're like leaves on a tree. They are only there for a season. You can't depend on them or count on them because they are weak and only there to give you shade. Like leaves. They are there to take what they need, and as soon as it gets cold or wind blows in your life, they are gone. You can't be angry at them. It's just who they are.
Exactly.
So for me, I just recently went through something like that. I actually went through it twice. The first time, I just was like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I'm telling myself in my head, like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that,
Because you want them to be, you want them to be a trunk. You want them to be a root.
Yeah.
But they're a leaf.
Yeah.
They can't change who they are.
But it's kind of like, it's like the whole time you're super close, they feel like a trunk.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, maybe it's like we talked about earlier. It's you painting what you want them to be. They probably was a leaf all along.
Mm-hmm.
So
you saw the red flags.
Yeah, you saw it.
And they're probably presenting themselves as a trunk or a root. They want to be that, or they want to be seen as that. They know they're not going to give you any more energy. They know they're not going to give you any more, but they want to present that and make you believe that they're more than what they are, But it's your choice to recognize those red flags. It's your choice to believe what you want to see or what you know to be true. So
that's true. And it's just kind of like, for me, I think the first time I was just like, oh, okay, well, maybe, maybe this, that, and that. So I'm just coming up with all these things. So then the person came around a second time. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe maybe
we do got something.
We got something. We got this bun. We got something.
We
like,
do.
this is,
It's real.
This is real. But it's like, I didn't think about it before, but it's like each time that this person comes around, it's always a need of me. So it's kind of like you get what you need, whether it's uplifting, whether it's motivation, whether it's, advice. You get what you need from me, and then in the blink of an eye, you're gone.
So it's basically she was draining you and not replenishing you with what you needed. Draining you of everything that she could get from you, or he, I don't know, but not replenishing you with what you needed.
Kind of like, oh, I'm at a point in my life where I need this. I know just who to go to, and I know she gonna pour into me. I know this is gonna happen. I know I'm gonna get this amount of support from her because that's just how she is. Mm-hmm. I know I'm gonna do this. And then it's like, just up and gone. Yeah.
No thoughts of pouring back into you what you needed, or giving you what you needed. Yeah. So I say that to say, the seasonal friends, that shit real. Oh, it's real.
That shit real.
It's real.
And, the minute that I started to get kind of like disturbed by it or kind of slick hurt about it, I prayed about it and I said, you know what? I can't, that's just who this person is.
Mm-hmm.
This is who they are.
Once I grasp this concept, and once,
I'm done. Like, never again with that.
Mm-mm. Once I grasped this and I started recognizing it, pointing it out, and defining it for my life and actually using it towards my life, the hurt, I'm not going to say it didn't still hurt, but it was less hurt because it was something I recognized, I identified, and implemented in my life. I'm like, okay, once I got this concept down, okay, the hurt ain't that bad. That's who that person is. I can't change them. And you want to change people so bad.
You want to change
especially
people
when there's
so
history there.
Bad.
When there's history, it's like, okay, I got to make it work. We got history. We got experiences together. Yeah. But I got to make this work.
Yeah.
So, no, you don't. You don't.
Yeah. You want to change people so bad, especially when you use a lot of energy with people. You're like, I worked so hard to get them to this point, to get them to blah, blah, blah. And,
And then oftentimes we also are so caught up on what other people will think. Oh, if I stop talking to this person, people they're going to ask me what's going on. I don't feel like telling them what's going on, and we so concerned about what people would think if we fall out with people. But we don't owe anybody anything. If we owe ourselves, what we talked about in the beginning, that peace, we owe ourselves that peace. Yes. If that person is not pouring back into us, then we owe it to ourselves to kind of sever ties with them or kind of withdraw from them so they aren't draining us. We need that energy for our own lives.
Those are facts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So of course, you also talked about how time waits for no man. Be true to you. To lose is to gain. Every loss isn't a loss. I'm going to just tell you that. Everything works out the way that it actually should work out. And I truly believe, I always say, let me just say this. I always say, man, one thing about God don't play by me. I've seen it so many times. I have seen it so many times. I tell anybody, God do not play about me. And I say that wholeheartedly because I know who I am. I know I go into every situation genuine. I don't have like a hidden motive. Like there's nothing, I don't need anything from you. I go in genuine. And, there has been things that has, transpired where people say, well, I would have did this to that person, or I would have cussed this person out. I would have slapped this person. I would have did blah, blah, blah. But why?
Right.
Why?
Just like you said, God don't play
God
about you.
handling them the way that he feel like, he should be handling them.
In the word, it says you reap what
people
you
are
sow.
already suffering.
You reap what you sow.
You're going to reap what you sow. And you got to know that. It's not my job to make you feel bad about something that you did to me.
It's going to come back on you.
It's going to come back on you. It may not be through me. It may be through somebody else who love you or who you love, or, it comes back around. So it's not my job. So I tell those people like, oh, I'm cool. Like, I'm not, I'm not upset. I'm not mad about anything. Like,
It is.
But one thing I will say, God don't play about me. I have seen it too many times. I have seen where people have plotted against me and it didn't work out.
When you're
all
genuine,
of their plans failed to the ground.
When you're genuine, that's what happens.
God don't play about me. I'm just telling y'all right now. So when you think that you got
you got the upper hand, you think you done did something, you think you done hurt me.
No.
It's gonna come back on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I do see in the book, I didn't see you name dropping a lot, but I did notice one name that you name dropped.
What's that?
Chandra.
I did. That's my baby. That's my girl. That's my love. That's my trunk. I summed up that chapter with her. I said, to my trunk, Chandra, I love you. And it was two people I name dropped. My other friend, my best friend, Michelle. And I did want to make sure that I highlighted those two because those are two solid females that have truly shown love for me that is like no other. Nobody else has been as solid as those two. And I just wanted to make sure I name dropped though. And it's I hate to say that me and Chandra's friendship actually we've known each other since we were little, but
yeah, I remember high school.
No, girl, I know her since we were little babies.
Well, I just moved here high school. So yeah, I remember.
But yeah, we were, on the same dance team and stuff, but we didn't become as close as we are now until we were adults. And I hate to say our friendship bond became stronger due to a mutual failed friendship. But, sometimes beautiful plants blossom after a storm. That's all I'm going to say about that. So,
yeah. I mean, yeah, because, sometimes, like I said, like sometimes if you're friends with somebody and, you know, you don't necessarily, like, okay, how do I say this? So sometimes you can be friends with a person, right? And they have their other set of friends. Mm-hmm. So, and this is what I think we kind of touched on this earlier about, you know, giving everybody a fair chance. So, like, you may be friends with somebody and then they may have another set of friends. Mm-hmm. So, they may tell you certain things about the other set of friends to where at this point you're like, okay, I don't know this girl. All I know is my friend said da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And for this reason, I ain't really too much trying to hang with this girl. I ain't really trying to, like, you know, do nothing, like, because of what my friend said about this particular person.
That's the story of my life. What?
So, you know, once the middle person is kind of like canceled out of a situation, sometimes a lot of things come to light. Mm-hmm. A lot of things come to light. Now, there is, okay, so you got that kind of situation where, you know, y'all were friends, associates, friends, or whatever. Y'all were friends. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, but you maybe not, you and Chandra may not have been as close as friends, but you were still friends.
Yes.
And, you know, and it, you know, something, whoever the mutual person, whatever, once that person is eliminated, you know, y'all may have came together and kind of like realize certain things. And you know, maybe you kind of thought like, okay, well, you know, well, this is not true. This is not true. So yeah, girl, I was like kind of like holding out on you like this for no reason.
Definitely. I mean, once we became friends, a lot of stuff was exposed. So, I mean, we tore a lot of walls down. We were friends. We've known each other for a long time, but we did have a mutual friend that kind of talked shit to both of us about each other, you know, and I think once we kind of came together and spoke on that and kind of exposed some things, we realized that we kind of share a lot of traits. We're both very genuine. We're both very solid. We're both loyal. We're loyal. And I think we noticed that we were loyal prior to even any exposing being done. We were both very loyal because we don't like speaking ill on other people. And, you know, I hate to say anything more than that, but recognizing that we shared a lot of traits, I think that brought us even closer. Realizing that we were very genuine people. And I think that made us solid for one another.
Yeah. Because, you know, you have some people that would say like, okay, well, let's just say, you know, y'all friends and then y'all had a mutual friend. And then now that the mutual friend isn't there, people will say stuff like, oh, well, y'all just, you know,
we're
blah, blah.
Fake.
Yeah, y'all fake. Y'all trying to force this friendship because this person ain't y'all friend no more. Da 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 da. But,
that
you know.
Friendship generic.
Yeah. In y'all case, y'all was friends, but maybe just not as close as friends because of blah, blah, blah. Now, on the flip side, I can see it another way too. So, like, for instance, if, you know, let's just say it's 3 people and the mutual friend is friends to both of the people, but the other outside people are not friends at all. Now, to me, just depending on the scenario, if you kind of like form a friendship, like kind of force a friendship with somebody just because, you know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're
it's like
saying.
2 different ways to that. It's definitely 2 different ways.
Yeah. And I could say wholeheartedly that that's not us.
So for y'all, it was kind of more so like
you're
y'all already
like
friends.
Enemies becoming friends.
Right.
Due to the same
enemy.
No.
People do that.
No, yeah. And that's
people do that.
That's weak.
Yeah, that's very weak.
That wasn't
clown behavior.
Right. Not us at all. Not us at all.
Yeah.
No, it was genuine. Very genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you also talked about it's okay to miss them. Mm-hmm. It's nothing wrong with missing your friends. So
I had to highlight that because in this day and age, people are so quick to say, F her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't worried about her. F her. I ain't thinking about her. When on the inside, you just got to be real with yourself. And I think I highlighted that you can miss the experiences that you had with that person without saying you miss that person. Once you see that person for who they are, you got to realize, okay, I miss the experience I had with her. I miss the event that happened with her. I miss the things that we used to share, the things we used to do, or who I thought that person was. I miss that.
Hello.
But do I miss them and the chaos they brought in my life, the toxicity that they brought in my life? No, I don't miss that. So yes, I made the right choice. I let them go. I cut them off. That was a boss move on my part. Do I need them back in my life? No. Do I miss the time spent? Yes. And that is what it is. Recognize it, accept it, go through your little, breakup, but move on. And I don't know if you're speaking on reconciliation, that chapter, I can't remember, but I know sometimes you can miss it, recognize it, and if nothing bad happened, or if there's no toxic experience that happened, then yes, you can reinvite them back into your life. If y'all just kind of fell off from distance or something like that, yes, you can reinvite them in your life if nothing toxic happened. But if you recognize red flags, toxic traits that's happening all the time, and it's just exhausting being tied to that person, you need to cut that off. You need to let that go.
Yes. I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, you miss the memories. You miss the memories. You miss the sisterhood. Mm-hmm. You miss the sense of security. We're gonna say the sense of security. The bond that you thought y'all had and stuff like that. But once you kind of sit down and like, that's what I had to do. Like, you sit down and you just kind of like just think about the friendship, and you like,
be real with yourself.
Really? It was nothing.
It was surface level.
Yeah.
We had no depth.
Yeah.
There was no depth. It was just fun. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah. It was fun.
That's it.
And that's it.
If that's all
your life didn't change afterwards
to you, if fun is all they have to offer, then really what does the relationship consist of? If there's no depth to it, then it's nothing to really cut that person off anyway, because there's no depth. So see it for what it was. It was fun.
Then you said, I go hard for my friends, so catch me when I'm going hard for you and love me right. I might be a child of God, made in his image, but I am not him. I'll forgive, but I'm human. I won't forget. And that's just on period.
Period.
That's on period. That's where I am right now in my life.
I can forgive because he told me I have to forgive. But am I going to forget? No, I can't. I cannot forget how you bashed me. I can't forget what you did to me. I can't forget how you talked about me. I can't forget how you betrayed me. Mm-hmm. No, I can't.
And how easily it was.
Yeah, how easy, because
nothing happened. Like, nothing transpired. Like, nothing major happened for you to fold the way you folded. So just imagine if something big really did happen. It's kind of like, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's,
thank you.
It really, my thank yous became more when I was writing this book, as I'm really just being honest on paper with myself and with God. It's just me and him writing. And I'm just like, God, I really didn't thank you enough for removing this person. Mm-hmm. I didn't thank you enough. I really was mad with you. I really was like, God, how did you let this person walk away? God, how did you allow this to happen when I told you, like, this is my friend. Like, I want to be down for her. I want her to be down. I want this to be my friend forever. Like, God, blaming you when you looking out for me. When the whole time you knew what she was saying about me. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And you removed her to protect me. And here I am mad at you. So I'm writing this book really at one point just, God, thank you. Thank you for removing this person. You knew things I didn't know. Mm-hmm. So
he heard the conversations that you didn't hear. Mm-hmm. And you know what gets me? For me, it's more so of, it be the people who you feel like won't do me like that will, and so easily. Mm-hmm. so easily. Because it's like you go hard for your friends, like, and it's just like, you know, all we can say is just thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, because
even when we don't understand it yet,
yes,
we have to say thank you. I had someone removed from me. I didn't understand it at that time. Like, why? Like, I don't get it. Why? And so many people are like, don't question God. I think I put that in there too. And I'm just like, why not? Why we don't question him? How else are we going to get answers from him if we don't ask him why? You know, and that doesn't mean that we have to be aggressive with the why. It's just like, why, Lord? Why did you remove this person? You know, and sometimes the answer is you're not ready for that yet. Right. And sometimes it takes time to see, oh, this is why. It took me 2 years one time. I'm like, oh, okay, that was why. Okay, Lord, I respect it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sometimes it's like, all right, they're not going to the next level with you because all they do is pump you. All they do is take from you. Mm-hmm. So I'm not taking them to the next level with you. They're going to have to stay right here. And it's nothing evil about it. It's just like all they are is takers. So I'm removing them before they drain you. Yeah. It's so many different reasons, and we got to recognize and respect it and just thank God at that level. And it's like we can't be angry. We just got to be thankful.
Definitely. Because that's where I am with it. Like, I don't have any ill feelings towards anybody. Like, you know, I'm just more so at a space in my life where, you know, I just kind of, I want to be around like-minded people, for one. Mm-hmm. And, you know, kind of, I think one thing I can say that I believe God did was, I have a younger cousin, and we've been cousins all our life. We didn't just start being cousins. I mean, we've been cousins all our life, but it's just like out of nowhere, you know, she kind of came in my life, and the energy that I was using to pour into people who I thought loved me and who I thought, you know, was good for me, I'm using that energy to pour into my cousin. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, God is basically telling me, like, I'm still using you. I don't want you to stop being you. I still want you to be you. But you know what? I'm going to send you people to surround you with people who I feel like you need to do this too. Because everybody isn't deserving of you. Exactly. So I don't want, because I used to always say, I'm just going to just stop, you know, being so available. I'm just going to stop giving. I'm just going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. But God created me to be this way.
For a reason.
Mm-hmm. It's just that maybe
you got to be in tune with Christ to see, okay, who do I use this for? And you got to understand the purpose that he has for you. Right. And utilize it the correct way.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's not that he doesn't want me to.
Right. You're just using it on the wrong people.
On the wrong people.
Mm-hmm. At the wrong time. And it's just like, okay, once I'm more in tune with him, once I'm listening to him and not just living my life the way I want to, then he's using me for the purpose that he designed and created me to be. And it's actually effective. It's not falling on deaf ears. So, yeah. Yeah. I did want to highlight in my book, I not only have reflections to where people can kind of reevaluate themselves, but I was like, okay, I have reflections. So, but what else? What else comes with the reflections? So I kind of summed every lesson up with a prayer. And I kind of put on one, Lord, I lost my friend. I catch myself reminiscing. The memories are so painful because our present state was unexpected. Let them do well in life. Help me to heal and move forward with no malice in my heart towards them. And when I was writing these prayers, I was just being real. I was like, okay, how can people sum up how they feel? They got to give it to God. They just got to give it to him and let it go. Don't walk around mad with these people that have done us wrong. Pray about it. Let God have it and move on, because that's nothing but control that people have on you. If you walking around mad at them, mad at what they did to you, they still have control in your life. Whether you're letting them play a part in your life currently, they still have control over you if you walk around angry with them. No, let it go. I wish them well. Hopefully they recover. Hopefully they get some help with the mental illness that's going on in their mind. But you're not going to control my life. You're not going to sit around, and I'm not going to sit up here and be angry with you. I'm going to let you go. But you don't have access to me anymore. That's it.
Rolesta, when I say anymore.
Period.
Anymore. It's a wrap. No more. And like you said, I wish everybody the best. And, you know, I really wish great things on everybody. But, you know, and I'll be cheering from you from afar. You know,
but that's all you get from me.
That's all. Yeah, because all that extra, you know, trying to go hard for this person and being there and it's draining when it's towards ungrateful people. So, you know, and sometimes people don't even realize they ungrateful, or people don't even realize that, you know, they're a certain way. It takes situations to expose, you know, who you are and, you know, how you move and how you operate in, you know, all of the above, you know. So I don't even want to make it personal, but only advice.
Look, on page 55, it says sometimes the cutoff isn't personal. It's spiritual.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta protect your spirit, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, you really irritating it. So I gotta let you go.
Yeah. And sometimes stuff ain't even like, you don't even go into situations as it being a cutoff. It's really more so, I mean, it could have been something that transpired and you just like, okay, well, we all upset, so we just not talking right now. But then it'll be like, okay, you get to thinking about it. And you like, you know, this person isn't good for me. And so do I really want to continue to surround myself around a person of such? So, and then it just turns into, you know, again, protecting your peace. Chapter 1, you protecting your peace. And another thing that I also had to learn is you can't tell people how to narrate their story. I mean, you have to be okay with being the villain in somebody else's story.
Girl,
it doesn't matter.
Where was that? I don't even know what page that was.
Listen, you have to be okay. And that was it was hard for me to accept that because I'm so caught up on, but I was there for you. You know, I'm this good friend to you. You know, I'm supportive. I'm this, I'm that. But you don't get to tell nobody their experience of you.
Exactly.
You have to be okay with being the villain in somebody else's story.
I had
you
to
can think you're
that.
everything.
I had to really, really accept that because everybody wants to be the good guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, well, to that person, you weren't that. Yeah. To that person, you are this. Yeah. So just see it for what it is. Back up and move on with people who appreciate you for who you think you are or who you believe to be. So.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with that. So that's what was hard for me. I just, you know, I couldn't understand how people, you know, would look at me, you know, different than the way that I looked at myself. But again, everybody have their own, you know, interpretation of somebody. Just because you feel like you the best friend ever, or you this, you that, you may not be that to somebody else. I have seen where people will put somebody who definitely, you know, they can't count on for nothing, above everybody. But you know what you gotta do? You gotta lead those people to who they think so highly of.
I bet Judas didn't think that he was the villain that he was. Okay. And that's why I included Emmanuel Hudson's quote, "You got to keep your circle small because it's always a Judas in the group." And I really appreciated him. When I first put my book out, he told me to get back on IG because he was going to shout me out. So that was pretty big for me to have him shout my book out on there. And that's why I used his quote.
Okay. So, also, we don't want to limit our environments, I guess, moving forward for healthy friendships and stuff. We don't want to limit our environments. I've said this in a podcast before. I kind of hate like the little quote, the mindset, no new friends and stuff like that. I hate it.
Girl.
I hate it. I hate it. Yes. Because how can you grow? How? If you're just going to stay surrounded by the same group of people who you've been friends with your entire life, and like, how can you grow? How can you get new experiences? Girl, that was one thing that was really, really stood out to me. And that's why I love Chandra. She really introduced me to a whole nother group of girl bosses. And like, I consider them friends. They're very supportive, very like always, girl, you doing this? Yes. Like, it's no hate. I love to see it. You can feel that there is no hating going on. It's like, girl, what you doing? Like, how can I help you get to the next level? How can I support you? And I truly, truly, truly appreciate it because we all stand beside one another. We all support one another. And the new group that I have, I just feel like it's solid. I just feel like we are pushing each other. We aren't bashing one another behind each other's back. It's solid. It's solidarity. And it's just a different vibe that I have now in my mature adulthood than I did before. And I appreciate it so much. You can't confuse the length of a friendship with the strength of one. That's for sure. We all know that. A lot of women get so caught up with the history, and it's like, I have to stay this person's friend because we have so much history. We have so many experiences. We have so many things we've done. But once a friendship has expired, you got to recognize it. You got to recognize it, and you got to move forward. You can't stay stuck. And that's not, and people are thinking that's, you're not loyal, but you got to be loyal to yourself first. And it's like, you got to first recognize. That doesn't mean that you have hate for that person. It's no hate. It's just you recognizing it's expired. It's time to move on. It is what it is. And you can't be scared to meet new people. You can't live by no new friends. Yeah. That's just, I think that's so immature. It's very, I said it in one of my earlier podcasts. I can't remember which episode it was, but definitely I hate the no new friends thing because I actually highlighted one of the girl bosses. It's a huge quote, but I couldn't leave anything out. Her name is Jasmine Porter. Okay. Chandra actually introduced me to her, and she has her own little line, Touched by Vanity. Okay. And like a clothing line, and I highlighted what she said because I just thought it was so important that people knew, my A1 since day one. Okay, yeah, you can still have them, but if they are mad at the fact that you are meeting new people, then that's a problem. That's definitely a problem. If they have a problem with the new people you're surrounding yourself with, and always saying, I see you hanging with such and such. What? Like, okay, that's a problem. What's wrong with that? But again, red signs. Right. Forgiveness isn't an option. You have to forgive in order for you to move on. You can't say, I ain't worried about it, but every time the person name comes up or whatever, you always got something shady to say or, something of that sort. You have to move on in peace. That's where I'm at with that. And then we also have to realize that sometimes it is us. Sometimes it's us. And we aren't for everybody, and everybody isn't for us. We also got to realize sometimes those events, those circumstances, they're necessary. Like I summed up the chapter and I said, Judas got Jesus to the cross. He needed Judas
to implement his plan.
Mm-hmm.
He needed Judas to do what he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But he needed it to happen in order to get to the cross. So sometimes we need those people in our life to propel us.
Yep.
To change our mindset, to get us to where we need to be. So don't look at it as nothing bad. Look at it as an event that happened. Forgive it and move on. Learn from it. Move on. That's it.
Yeah. And then you mentioned to never be too prideful or blind to admit when you fall short or make mistakes.
Man.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, it was a situation with me personally. Like, it was something, I guess it wasn't necessarily something I said, but it was more so something that I didn't say, or it was something, the way it was explained to me was, it was something that I didn't say, or it was, I didn't respond the way that they felt like I should have responded. Mm-hmm. So let me just say, during this particular situation, something happened. I became upset about it. So instead of mouthing off, which I've been working on that. Mm-hmm. Instead of mouthing off or whatever, I kind of didn't say pretty much nothing. And then, so boom. So I was told that, the way that I responded or what I didn't say, or that's what, upset this particular person. So I apologized. I said, hi, hey, I'm human. I felt this way at the time. I was upset. So I'm sorry I didn't respond the way that you felt like I should have responded. But at the time, I didn't respond as much because I felt like, if you're mad and you really don't have any good thoughts going through your head, you really need to say as less as possible to prevent it from being something that, you're going to regret that you did say.
Because you can't take words back.
You can't take words back.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I would say, I ain't gonna say I'm just super prideful, but I will say that I am a person that kind of has like a little bit of pride issues. Like for me, it's a lot of stuff that I feel like a person can't do to me, or without, like, I feel like it's certain stuff. If you do this, I don't want to talk to you no more. Mm-hmm. That kind of pride. Mm-hmm. Like, cause I feel like, nah, you ain't just gonna do this. And then, when I say prideful, that's what I mean.
Right.
So, so long story short, going back to your, what you said, never be too prideful or blind to admit when you fall short or make mistakes. So sometimes, like, I admitted my mistake or whatever. And when I found out, well, not when I found out, but when I realized that me admitting what I did, which at the time I really don't feel like, at the time I didn't feel like it was wrong. I just felt like, well, it could have been worse. I could have said blah, 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 but I didn't. I tried to say as least as possible. But just because I don't feel like something at that particular time doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. Mm-hmm. So when you say you have to, admit when you feel like you made a mistake, but the thing is, you can admit your mistake, but it's kind of like, it's like I wasn't allowed to be human.
Right.
It was more so like we're so used to you having all the answers. Mm-hmm. You're the person that's supposed to blah, blah, blah. So you're not allowed to make mistakes. You're not allowed to.
You're crucified for it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So it's kind of like you're not allowed to blah, blah, blah. That's how I felt.
So you've
expressed
yourself.
Yes. I humbled myself and said, that's not what I meant. This is, I was upset at the time. This is what happened. Da, 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 da. And this is me telling it without going into detail, because I don't, like I said, I'm not really a person that like to tell stories of things that I had go on or, get people involved in business and all that kind of stuff like that. But this is just, since we're on this topic, that was just something that just popped in my head.
And they weren't receptive to it.
Yeah. And I couldn't understand, because I'm like, okay,
well,
now
I humbled myself down.
I know damn well it's been a lot of stuff that
I've accepted and I've forgiven.
Yeah, and it's stuff that, you may have done or whatever the case may be that I know you're not too proud of, but you expect to be forgiven for it. You expect people to forgive you for it. You expect God to look at you doing this stuff and forgive you for it. But it's kind of like, so it's just like things like that. Moving forward in friendships, I don't want anybody to hold me to a standard that I can't hold you to. Mm-hmm. And that's just period. If I can't hold you to this same standard, don't hold me to it. Don't hold me to it.
Got it.
Don't hold me to it. That's just where I'm at with that. So, and then like you said, your lesson, sometimes it is you, like you said, sometimes you have to, you can't tell people how the story went. People will create whatever. First of all, people going to create a story to make them look like the victim anyway.
Bloop.
Yeah. They want to look like the victim. And in closing, so friendship starts at home. Let me tell you. My best friend in the whole wide world is my husband, Luke. I know that he loves me. No motives. No nothing. It's pure. It's,
he gonna hold you down regardless.
He gonna hold me down regardless.
Whatever happened.
And that's the way love and friendship should be.
It's supposed to be like that.
If I feel despite anything. If I feel like you said something to me that I didn't like and I call you a friend, for me, I feel like we should be able to talk about that. Not saying that after we have our talk, we may agree to disagree and we may say, this friendship isn't working. But I feel like when you have a friendship, there should be nothing that you can sit down and at least talk about. I feel like if you call somebody a friend, you owe them. Yes, I said it. You owe them at least a conversation. And that's just how I feel. You owe them a conversation. And again, I guess, let me just say that. It depends on what happened, too. It depends on what happened. I'm going to say that, too.
I feel you on that one.
It depends, case by case. Sometimes, no, because it just depends on what happened.
But walking away.
Yeah, sometimes, okay, I'm going to say that. It just depends on what happened. It depends on what happened. But I don't think that you should ever have a friend and they not know where y'all stand. Like, you should never have somebody who you consider a friend, walking around and not knowing, like,
is she my friend?
Is she my friend or is she not my friend? Mm-hmm. Or, if you have a problem, I feel like your friend should know whatever the problem is.
Y'all should be able
and if y'all can't, if you can't, understandable. Because everybody don't, if everybody not going to let you wrong them and then just be like, oh, okay, well, come on back. Mm-hmm. Everybody not like that. So, and lastly, because we're going to close it up, real friends do exist.
Yes.
They do.
Yes, I feel like that was the perfect way to sum up everything. They do exist. I got them. I've lived it. I've lived through the hurt. I've lived through the pain. I've lived through people walking away, people betraying me, people shitting on me. But all in all, I got some solid ass friends today.
Yes.
And everything that I went through, I don't regret none of it because it has built me to be this solid person. If I consider you a friend, if I call you a friend, baby, best believe I'm going above and beyond for you. You are my friend. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get that same energy that you put out and probably more because I go above and beyond, like I said. But real friends do exist.
I'm just a follow up behind you. Real friends do exist. For all the listeners out there, if you find yourself constantly having failed friendship after failed friendship after failed friendship, instead of just jumping into them, instead of just jumping back into another friendship, kind of like just sit down. If you have to write it out, write it out. Write out the things that, you don't like. Write out the things that, when you thought someone was your friend, that you realize that, okay, friends don't do this. Friends don't do this. Friends don't do this. But don't just kind of count yourself out, like, well, nobody's a real friend. If these blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Real friends exist. They definitely exist. And again, y'all really just need to get this book. We kind of gave y'all an overview of it, but it is so good. And I feel like even when you are going through things, with your friend, I feel like this book would kind of help you, especially if you kind of like a hot-headed person. Mm-hmm. Like me, I'm kind of hot-headed a little bit, but I've been working on it. I have been working on it.
And that's what matters.
Yeah, I have been working on it. Like, I have not, let me just say this. Progression, not perfection. And I have really been working on it.
I like it.
You have to be okay with not telling your side of the story too. And that also, helps you protect your peace also. So, we are going to close it out with a prayer. And Rolesta, I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and do that, girl.
I guess I'll go ahead and just read the prayer that summed up. This is how I summed up my book. And I said, thank you, Lord, for loving me beyond what I could ever imagine. My desire is to please you and nothing else matters. Help me to keep you at the forefront of my life so that everything aligns accordingly. Surround me with individuals that will assist in fulfilling my purpose and eliminate those that may be distractions. Provide a genuine circle to support me through the highs of life, but especially when times get tough. Let them be built to withstand the noise when it comes. Despite my past, help me this day to personify friendship. Supply me the wisdom and guidance to hold myself accountable and forgive me for the times I failed others. Thank you for loving me when others left and help me to demonstrate the same love. Amen.
Amen. That was awesome. Rolesta, thank you again for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
This was awesome and well needed, right on time. And, the book is awesome, y'all. Y'all have got to get the book. It is super awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Of course, follow me on IG at K_Mira. Look in the Mira podcast on all platforms. I'm going to go ahead and let Rolesta drop hers again, just in case y'all didn't get it the first time.
Okay. Follow me on IG, sincerely___row. On Facebook at Rolesta Brooks. Make sure you get my book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu.com, or my website at www.brooksbookproduction.com.
All right, y'all. That's it. Hope y'all enjoy.